Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. In this video we want to take a look at the bigger picture first. This is the long-term chart, just to get everybody on the same page, okay? Just to highlight what's going on here. And we are tracking more upside for the Solana chart against the $132.50 level. When you're making, my view is, when you're making trading decisions, you shouldn't really go any smaller in wave count than this here anyway, like on the 1 hour 30-minute chart, because this is where the trend is. The trend is up from the 5th of July low, right? But before we dive into this, let's go back to the daily chart. It's important with crypto not to get too micro, not to panic about the smallest movements. I mean, like, 5%, 6%, 7% intraday, that's completely normal in crypto. It's a bit high for Bitcoin intraday, or at least it's something noteworthy. But for all other altcoins, I mean, they easily get this 5, 6, 7%. That's all within normal expected parameters for crypto. Just want to mention that. So it's always important to zoom out for crypto. Sometimes people panic about the smallest movements, really. We are still dealing with a bullish chart. Okay, that's very, very important to point out. The idea is that we are getting likely one more high for Solana in this bull market. Could be wrong about this, maybe we've topped already in the bull market, but I have no indication for that, absolutely not. And my analysis here on the larger time frame specifically hasn't changed in a very long time. We did watch for a correction in March, April. That happened. We might already have seen the end of the correction. You know that my view is that the market is turning bullish. Solana was never really bearish, but was obviously caught in the messiness of a wave 4 correction. Did hold the range, however, here, and we might be about to witness an upside breakout of the range. Very important to point that out and what the levels are. I'm going to zoom in a minute, but the bigger picture still suggests here a wave 1 to the upside, a wave 2 to the downside, a third wave rally. And this here could be a fourth wave. I mean, that's been the perspective, that this here is a fourth wave. This move that actually started, hold on, let me just make it a bit larger. This move that actually started in March, okay, so like a fourth wave can be a sideways correction, could be a triangle, could be a flat correction. And there's been a very clear level against which I said we can focus on higher. And that is the $119 level, that's the red line, because that's our range boundary line. And then as we moved higher, I implemented this or added this support zone, which is unchanged for now. Could adjust it a little bit higher, but it's sort of around $133 to $159. This is just the support range. So if we get a pullback, then this is an area where we can watch for support. Maybe it's going to break out directly. And in this case, the next resistances are visible on the 1 hour chart. We're going to take a look at that. But also the overall bull market projection points towards sort of $444 plus. Yeah, $444 plus. It could be a little less bullish, but it depends on how I start to how I measure this. And which let's say which method to calculate the next target I really apply. So I would say it makes sense to focus on this and the specifics, whether it's like 400 or 444 or so. It makes sense to focus on that a little later. It's a bit too early for that. I mean, whether it's 400, 444, we will have to look at how the microstructure looks like when we actually get there, okay? When we actually get there, when we get to this sort of range up there, and when we really know that we are in the fifth wave. For now, the perspective has been that the $119 level keeps us safe. I could then adjust this to 133 roughly. It's not exact now, but let me adjust that here more precisely. But I keep it up to date on the smaller time frame. Yeah, $133. This is now support if we get a pullback. Now, if we break out directly, then there is a risk that this is only the C wave of a larger P wave, so that we're dealing with a larger correction. But even if we do, even if we're dealing here with a larger white ABC structure, the wave 4 might never go below the red line. And the reason is that if we get a high B wave, that C wave to the downside might never end below the low of the A wave. Okay, so it's bullish. It's a bullish chart, especially against $133. A pullback would be great for anybody who wants to add positions, but we might not get it, which is what are we tracking on the smaller time frame, first indications that we get this pullback and so on. But I just want to show you here the bigger picture. This is a bullish chart and should be treated like that as long as we're holding $133. Bear in mind that in these triangle patterns like A, B, C, D, E, I explained to you from the beginning that an E-wave doesn't really have a target. So they can be short. It would be rare, but it's possible the E-wave bottomed here and that we're breaking out directly. But then I would need to see evidence with a break above $190. But then we can also first explore if we're just moving in a higher B-wave, and we'll track support along the way, you know, accordingly. And yeah, so this is what Solana is doing on the larger time frame. That means we're still watching for one more bull market high. And looking at the shorter time frame, this is the movement from this C wave low of the triangle on the 5th of July. 3 waves up, maybe 5 already. Again, you know, it's if we break higher directly, I can't really call that a triangle anymore. Well, I could. And then, however, the wave 4 bottomed here already on Thursday, the 25th, which is possible, but that requires some additional confirmation through price action, very aggressive move up, because if the wave 4 really finished here, then it was an extremely shallow wave E or 4, which is very bullish. It makes more sense to count that as a separate 5-wave move up, which could be, for example, wave 5 of C of B. There are other interpretations that could apply. It could also be a 1-2 setup. I would say we don't make it too complex. Okay, we take it level by level. For now, the focus can be on higher against $133. And let me adjust that slightly here now to 133. Also here on the smaller time frame. But actually in the very short term, the last key level that we can use to focus on higher is $165.70. Because against this level, further upside extensions are possible more directly. Any break below 165.70 would likely send us into the yellow box here. Then we can watch for a reversal here. And above, we have $190 as next structural resistance. Directly above, we have 192.60 as resistance, Fibonacci resistance, 215, 229.65. These would be, especially the 2 up there, would be the next key levels I would watch to be reached if there is a break above 190. So yeah, quite positive, the chart, the Solana chart. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.